learned a lot through the attributes of high achievers. One lesson he has learned is that successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Today, Paul will be giving a speech which will be a part of a longer talk he will be giving to high school students at Hamilton High School. He has adapted today's speech for this audience so that everyone here can do the same self-assessment he will be asking the students to do. The personal assessment will give you and his students an opportunity to challenge yourself to seek a higher level of performance, so that he is not hassled by the manual Nazis. He's using number 5 speech and the professional speaker's manual as a guide. The purpose of which is to motivate your audience. The title of his speech is Turn It On. Please help me welcome Paul Brunoforte. Turn me on.
I have learned a lot of lessons in life, but one of the biggest lessons I learned at the happiest place on earth. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, where's the happiest place on earth?
Toastmasters.
So how in the world, you're asking yourself, did Paul learn this great lesson at Disneyland? Well, it goes back to the 1980s when I was working on my MBA. We were studying successful companies, especially the companies listed in Search of Excellence, the best-selling book by Tom Peters. And that book focused on Disney and what the Disney company did, which was really great because I was a huge Disney fan. I have been to Disney World and Epcot at least 4 or 5 times, Disneyland more than 10 times. So it was really great because now I got to do homework on a company that I really, really enjoyed. And so I learned so many lessons from Disney, but today I want to talk about one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from Disney because there are so many lessons that we can learn from a company like this. So first I need to know, how many of you have not been to Disneyland? Well, I heard there'd be 1 or 2 that haven't been to Disneyland. And for those of you who have been to Disneyland but haven't been there a long time, Disneyland looks like a huge theme park with one big exception. The theme park is on the 2nd story. There's a complete city below Disneyland, filled with classrooms and offices and cafeterias and restrooms, lockers. There's a whole city below Disneyland. And spread throughout the park are secret doors where all of the Disney employees come in and out. And so you'll see people walking around, you'll see characters, and then they'll disappear and then they'll come back. So you can learn these lessons from these characters because what these characters do, this is the lesson. When these characters come through the door, they turn it on. They turn it on 100%. And you can get to see these characters. They're walking around, and it's not just the ones in costumes. All of the employees are playing a role. All of the employees, including the ones that are just sweeping up, or the ones selling, the ones directing, the ones that are running the ride, they all are in character, and they're playing a role. And don't we have roles? Don't we have characters that we're playing, maybe the character of a husband or a wife, a father or a mother, an employer, an employee, a sibling. We all have these roles. Now, for many of us, we are perhaps somewhat certain of the role that we're playing, but we're not 100% certain. And I have found that there are a lot of people not 100% certain, but sadly, there are a lot of people who just don't care. They don't care what a 100% is, and they're not going to put any effort into finding out. The Disney company does care, and the Disney company takes great pains to train all of their employees as to what 100% performance means. And they train people so that when they come out through one of those doors onto that stage, they are at 100% performance. Now, I got the opportunity to check this out. I saw this girl, she was sweeping up, just walking around, and when you go back to Disney, you'll see they're all walking around like this, and I stopped to ask her a question, but I wasn't going to stop asking questions until I got one that she didn't know. And then she said, "Excuse me, I know someone who does know that question." And she escorted me and the whole family over to somebody who was apparently her supervisor. I asked the question, he gave me the answer. She never got frustrated, she was smiling the whole time, and this goes on all over the park. But it's especially evident with the characters, the ones dressed in the costumes. And maybe you guys don't know it, these characters, most of them are not allowed to speak at all when they are in character. So I got an opportunity to test this one also. So I'm with my son PJ, my kids, and PJ was about 4 years old, and he loves Mickey and Minnie, but he especially loves Goofy. So we're walking through the park, and there's the characters. There's a bunch of them, and they're signing autographs, and they're playing with little kids. And PJ spots Goofy, and he takes off. He goes running towards Goofy, and he starts to wrap his arms around Goofy's leg. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Most of the time, you never really know if the characters are male or female, right? So, back to PJ. So PJ is running towards Goofy, goes to wrap his arms around Goofy's leg, and hits Goofy in the package. And I could hear Howard Cosell saying, "Down goes Goofy! Down goes Goofy!" And Goofy falls down to his knees like this here. Never got out of character. He's still petting PJ. I went over and I'm so sorry, Goofy. I'm really so sorry. Goofy never said anything. He's still petting all, patting all the other kids. Finally, when he could breathe, he stood up. And he didn't miss a beat. I was so impressed. What a fantastic lesson. And then I applied it to our lives. What Goofy did in staying in character, knowing what his character did, is what I have strived to do by practicing the skill of giving 100%. And all of us have the opportunity, no matter what character that is in life, and we're all playing characters. We've had many different characters, and there are some similarities through the characters, but each character in and of itself stands alone. And one of my biggest priorities in life is relationships, and especially the relationship with my wife. So I ask my wife, not once or twice, many, many times, how can I be a better husband? And I read books. I remember Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I read that book. I thought it was really great. And then I found out my wife is from Mars also. Which was really cool in some ways. And just It's called 100/0. It's how to give 100% to relationships without expecting anything in return. Whatever your priority, whether it's work, relationships, health, learn what 100% is and then give it. And here at Toastmasters, we have that opportunity as well. As you walk up to the front door, pretend it's one of the secret doors at Disneyland. And when you walk in that door, you turn on your 100% Toastmaster. You don't have to wait 5 years. You can be what you want to be when you walk through the door. Be enthusiastic. Walk in, shake hands. I see people sometimes walk in, they go sit right down. Get up, shake hands. Find someone here in the club that you don't know that well and introduce yourself and let them know who you are. That's how we practice being 100%. There's many lessons to learn from the Disney company, but learning how to give 100% is an example for us so that we can all turn it on. Mr. Toastmaster.